football in here. Raiders are one of the teams to begin rookie minicamp today. Means we get our first look at the #1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. Take a listen to how he described his attitude in his first interview with the Raiders media team.
Although I've came off as very humble and pretty fuzzy and warm, at the end of my Indiana career, when you have that equity, you're able to be like number 4 and number 12. And if you ask my teammates, that's stuff that I was. I wasn't always a nice guy. I was an a-hole sometimes because I wanted everyone to do their 1/11th, everyone to do their job, hold everyone to a high standard.
What did we we got D. Wood, we got Mike Tannenbaum, we got Jordan Rodgers. What did you make of that?
Yeah, you use the word a-hole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, man, just go ahead and pull the trigger on it. It's okay. It's okay. Pull the trigger on it. Let us know that you really about that.
You know, he's got to be himself, I think is what it is. He's an unusual, right, Mike T? You were telling us this morning he's sort of a quirky personality, and that will come through. And if it all goes well, as everyone did in Indiana, the entire world will love him in Las Vegas.
That's exactly right. And as Jordan and D would know, Greeny, you have to earn it in the locker room. Players in the NFL gravitate to quarterbacks who they believe can take them to where they want to go, which is to win a Super Bowl. And his boss, Tom Brady, will tell you, well played is better than well said. So he's walking in as the first pick, but at the end of the day, it's the ultimate meritocracy, Greeny. He has no equity. He has to earn it. I believe he will, but that won't happen overnight.
And Jordan, you know, the Raiders have done a lot. He's been the #1 pick in this draft since January, but they've put a lot of pieces in place around him, and I don't know anyone who doesn't think they had an excellent draft. What do you think of the situation he finds himself in as the #1 pick?
I think it's a great situation for long-term success, but the success that Fernando's going to have is going to be directly correlated to the amount of patience that the Raiders need to have with him. The longer he sits, the longer he waits, the longer they wait until he's ready to put him out there, the better he's going to be in the long term. That's why I think Kirk Cousins is the short-term option. But back to the leadership style, man, I freaking love it because this generation lacks that. My generation, even, the one before, lacks it. It's the look-down generation. Everyone's out on their phones looking down. They don't mind telling you what you don't want to hear behind a text message, but they struggle at looking you in the eyes and telling you what you don't want to hear. And to quote a wise man, Ben Parker, in a conversation with his nephew, Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. The responsibility of a leader and the #1 pick is not to have everyone like you. It's to hold everyone accountable to the standard of success that everyone puts in place to take the franchise forward. And that's the power that Fernando has. Like Mike T said, he's got to earn it, and he needs to earn it before he starts being an a-hole, but he's got that DNA, which I love.
We'll see if he's able to be Spider-Man for a team that has not had a superhero in a very long time. Meanwhile, it has been an offseason of change for the Giants, and the newly acquired Pat Ricard had this to say on following John Harbaugh to New York. Listen to this.
I know what I'm getting myself into. I know exactly the type of team he wants, exactly what he expects out of you and the team in general. And I love the way he coaches. He wants a physical, tough team that works very hard. When he reached out to me, he said, hey, I'm building a bully up here in New York.
You know, D. Wood, I was saying, if you want to be about it, if it's, instead of just saying we're going to be a physical team and all that kind of stuff, if you want to actually demonstrate it, take 2 linemen with the 5th and 10th picks in the drafts. That's the statement that he's making.
That's it. You know, it's one thing to tell me about it. It's another thing to show me what you're about, in New York. And John Harbaugh has always been one of those, tough, demanding type of coaches. And he put the statement out there just via the draft. Let everyone know, not only in the NFC East, but all across, that what we're going to do is we're going to bludgeon you. We're going to punch you in the mouth. And those 2 picks, those 2 first-round picks, are the tone setters for the organization.
Mike T.
Yeah, look, this is going to look like the 09 Jets. Whatever Cam Scatterboo rushing attempts are next year, over, under, take the over. You're going to see a team in 21 personnel, which is Patrick Ricard and Cam Scatterboo with 1 tight end, even 22 personnel with 2 tight ends. That's why they went out and got Isaiah Likely. John Harbaugh stands for toughness. This will be a tough team. Greg Roman will design a good running game. This will be a team really in what the vision of John Harbaugh wants, and that starts with toughness.
But ultimately, that's where it begins. But if it's going to end in a place everyone wants it, Jordan, it's going to be about Jackson Dart and his progression. What do you expect from him in year 2?
I expect him to take another step forward. I think we saw a lot of good football out of Jackson Dart. 24 total touchdowns, just 7 turnovers for a guy that was not in a great situation with the pieces that were in place around him. Here's what I love, though. The regression usually occurs in a coaching staff change when you got a young quarterback and the system completely changes around him. Verbiage, terminology, formations. Matt Nagy does a lot of what Mike Kafka did, because Kafka cut his teeth with the Chiefs under Andy Reid for a long time before he was with the Giants and Jackson Dart. Matt Nagy with the Chiefs the last 3 years. So a lot of the terminology and the concepts and the verbiage are going to be the same. So that's one thing that Jackson doesn't have to hit the reset button on. He's going to have a foundation to build upon. The physicality I love, and I think he's going to take a big step. And I love what I saw out of him last year, and I think because of that cohesiveness, he's going to be able to improve upon that.
Mike Wilbon said it yesterday. I agree. I think the Giants have a shot to be a playoff team, at least to be playing meaningful games in December this year. Coming up, the stunt.
It is the game show that continues to sweep the nation. Fraud or laud. It's not high T. It's not low T. It's Mike T.
That's him right there.
Mike Tannenbaum, our first caller. Let's get to the phones. It's Aaron Rodgers. And he says he needs just a few more months to make a decision on his future. Is that fraud or should we laud?
Randy, that is absolutely fraud. Come on, Aaron. If you're going to play, you're going to play. And here's what's important. They have a number of new skill players. They drafted Jeremy Bernard from the University of Alabama. They added Michael Pittman. They added Rico Dowdle. If you're coming back to win a championship, you're going to be 43 in December. Get into camp now, OTAs, minicamp. Let these new skill players get familiar with you. So if you're going to play, we need to know.
Let's stay in the AFC North. Our next caller is Browns GM Andrew Berry. He says Cleveland going to roll with 4 quarterbacks, Mike T. Is that fraud or is that laud?
Yeah, Gary, that is definitely fraud. You can't get 3 quarterbacks ready to go, let alone 4. So if it's Shedeur Sanders, if it's Dylan Gabriel, you got to let somebody step up, even if it's going to be Deshaun Watson. I think Dylan Gabriel could be traded to Atlanta. Kevin Stefanski was the head coach last year, and then probably the Falcons could wind up with 3 lefties in Michael Penix, Tua Tagovailoa, and maybe Dylan Gabriel. So if I was them, I would move on from a quarterback, and I would do it sooner than later.
Well, that's what Randy Scott always says. If you have 4 quarterbacks, you have none quarterbacks.
You have none quarterbacks.
That's what he says.
That's very true. They got one in Dallas, though. And our next caller is Mr. Jarrah Jones. He says the Cowboys have done enough on defense this offseason to compete for a Super Bowl.
Oh, a Super Bowl.
Fraud or laud?
Randy, that's laud. They've had an outstanding offseason on defense. First of all, before the draft, Jalen Thompson, Rashad Gary, outstanding additions. And then looking at some of these draft players, Jayshon Barham, Malachi Lawrence, and of course the great Caleb Downs from Ohio State. So they've addressed all 3 levels of their defense to go with a championship offense. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be a really good team this year.
All right. This is normally the time, Mike T. We have you claim your prize, but we actually have a bonus caller this morning. It is Ella T. calling from Ann Arbor. She wants to stay on the family payroll despite graduating from the University of Michigan this weekend. Mike T, is that fraud or is that laud? And is your prize just simply knowing you don't have to cut any more tuition checks?
Yeah, unfortunately for Ella, that's fraud. Look, we love Ella. We're very proud of her, but she's not salary cap friendly. She is a free agent, and we expect her to flourish in the free agent market in the pending weeks and months.
She's not salary cap friendly.
Mike T meant every word of that answer, by the way.
That's amazing.